What's up, guys? What is it? It's hump day, right? It's hump day? Yes, it's hump day. September the 18th. Damn, the months, the days, they fly by, dude. Scary. It'll be winter before we know it. So we're starting to, not terribly late, not terribly early. I was doing some research on some electric motorcycle, which I might end up buying. I already have a gas-powered motorcycle, but I was looking to electric instead. Anyway, but wasted like 30 minutes doing that. Not wasted, but spent 30 minutes. That postponed code a little bit. So let's jump right in. Yesterday, we continued a mix of game testing, note taking, bug fixing, completed removal of screen service and dir code since it's dead. 4 is obsolete. Debugging attempt for waiting other player bug. Continue things to do to our efficiency. Determine what we do next. So that's where we're at right now. I think I specifically moved the bugs to the bugs debug file, which is the correct place for them. I remember there was something I was thinking about where I was concerned about the screen getting drawn before, like, basically, like, we would receive data, start to apply it, not completely apply it, and then in the middle of applying it, redraw the screen, and that would cause bugs in the redrawing of the screen because it didn't finish applying all that data that might, need to have been applied before it redrew the screen. But actually, we don't need to worry about that. I just realized this yesterday because the drawing of the screen only happens on the client side, especially after yesterday's change, so that we know client side is only single thread, so we're not going to have multiple threads operating on the client side, and that was the concern because single thread, you're not going to have concurrency. It does one thing at a time in a loop. So I don't actually think that would be an issue. At least it shouldn't be. Now, like, well, just trying to think. Well, like, what if we... Well, that's what the delay is for. I was gonna say, what if we receive, like, let's say we modify the clickable card list, because I'm thinking about that bug we're having. And, there's 9 or 11 cards in the hand, and those 11 cards get appended to the clickable card list. But, for whatever reason, only like 9 of them get sent as the in one packet, and then the other 2 get sent in another packet. And then on the client side, it will apply the 9 cards for the first iteration, and then it will redraw the screen. But then I was like, well, actually we have the delay system to where it receives and then it waits 3 seconds after that to see if there's any like lagging behind the data. Yeah, so I think that's wouldn't be a problem. I was trying to figure out what exactly is causing this visual bug though with the highlighting of the cards. And it does look like it's an intermittent bug. Well, maybe not actually. It might actually be an every time thing. So I'm just talking this out here. I want to try to figure out what I need to focus on next. Um, because I'm really like almost done here. Like the entire project. We do have this client side to server side data not sent to other clients. Realize that data changes made. Yeah, I know this one. We're gonna go through each piece of transferred data. We'll go through each file's transferred adders minus GamePy non-transferred adders minus progression pi server side only to determine which adders would need to be transferred. And I really don't think that, like, I don't think we're missing anything concerning like data that the other client requires but doesn't have. I've never, I mean, that could be an issue. I don't think it is. I'm not sure if I want to make that my focus. You know, I kind of want to focus on the main big problem. Now we have other cards, other play cards invisible, and we're gonna do this last. Yeah, we have to do this last because it's got to be after the final debugging. So I don't want to do that. And then also the caution comment review, that we're gonna do like last, because it just makes sense. We already went through and handled all those actually. Then we have our non-pressing issues. So let me look at the non-pressing issues. We have master deck ranks to ranks dict, and I forgot to let us post this room and see if it works. Should work. Okay, yep, looks like it's working. Alright, so since it is indeed a dict, we need to reflect that in the namespace. Be careful when making changes to all references. So master decks ranks, change it to ranks dictionary. Yeah, I can do that. I can take care of some of these like little easy changes. And we can just test in between each change to make sure we do. And kind of get a feel for what bugs we're dealing with. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, so let's take care of this. Master deck ranks. So let's do Control Shift F to find ranks. And since it is indeed a dictionary, we need to reflect that in the namespace. Okay, so we want this to be called ranks dict because we like to I like to put the type of the object in the name for like lists and dictionaries at least, because it's useful. It helps you to know, you know. And if it's a boolean, I'll put bool. I don't do it throughout the entire project. I'm not going to change every single one of them, but it is definitely helpful. So we're going to change this to ranks dict. So we're going to put ranks, and we're going to change this to, let's put dot ranks dict. Alright. Now, replace. Okay. Here's a reference to it. Let's replace that one. Same thing here. Let's replace that one. And this one has already been replaced. Alright. Okay, and then setup. We're gonna change that to rank dict. Alright, cool. See how easy that was? Very easy. So we just knocked off one thing off of our list of things to do. And let's put the player, the actual project files on the left side and the text on the right side. So we can go over to things to do and get rid of that. Alright, now locations class adders. Why do we have certain adders as class adders instead of instance adders? It would be more simple to have them as instance adders instead to avoid accidentally referencing, modifying them via the incorrect namespace. Yeah, because if we modify an instance attribute through the namespace of the instance compared to if we were to modify the class object, whenever we change the instance object attribute, it doesn't change the rest. Whenever we change the instance, it doesn't change it for the class itself. So if there's confusion about that, that could be problematic. And we have to repopulate our little test file here. I got these little test segments that I make. And this is a very useful file. It helps me to keep track of things that I discovered and things that I forget sometimes. T1, T2, okay, that's another. I think that might be the last one. Nope, there's another one. Oh shit, I hit Control C instead of Control V. Alright, is that the last one? Nope, got another one. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now we have, I'm gonna copy these. And I'm just gonna like go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we have a bunch of these, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces between. Yeah, that's what we want. Alright, so let's go up here and we're gonna verify that this is indeed the case. If we have a class called CLS and we do def init, pass it in self, and then we have we'll pass, and we're just going to create a class attribute called x equals 1, and then we're going to create C, which equals, it is an instance of CLS, and we're going to say c.x equals 2, but then we're going to print cls.x. So we're printing the class attribute even though we modified an instance attribute. And as you can see, the instance attribute remains, rather the class attribute remains 1, but the instance attribute is going to be equal to 2 since we modified it. Now, as opposed to this, if we were to, whoops, how did that happen? I totally copied this. I guess I didn't actually though. So let's try that again. And then go right here. We need to comment this code out. And if we don't have to recreate the class actually. We would say scenario number 1, change instance adder, or change class adder, change the instances class adder, doesn't change the classes class adder. And then we have scenario number 2, where we change the classes class adder, and it does change the instances class adder. So now leave. We have C, so we don't need C again. Alright. We actually need this enabled because we're going to use it. Alright. So that's scenario 1, and then here's scenario 2. So scenario 2, we're going to change cls.x to 2, and then we're going to print cls x and c of x, and it should be 2 and 2. As you can see, when we change it through the class but not through the instance, even though when C was created it had the class attribute x assigned to 1, whenever we reassign the class attribute to 2 through cls.x, when we print out c.x thereafter, the attribute is equal to 2. So yeah, that's something you always have to remember when you're, working with this sort of stuff. So we'll just put a reminder called class adder change via instance versus class, and the date, and remember that when you modify a class adder through the class namespace, modifies the class adder for all instances. If you modify it via the instance, it only modifies it for that instance. The class adder via the class namespace or another instance's namespace will still be equal to the originally set value. Cool. Alright, so now that we reminded ourselves of that, we can go ahead and actually make this change. So particularly we're talking about locations, but we'll actually review all of the files, so we're just going to open them up one by one here. So I'll close deck, player, and setup, and then we're going to start at the top with card, and we'll go one by one here. So do we have an okay, so we have transferred adders and non-transferred adders. And those are fine to stay as class attributes. these right here, the face, and those can stay as class attributes. Why? Why can they stay? Well, because we don't really access those. We just have them associated with each class for reference, just to look at. It's not ever to, like, it's not really used in the project. It's just for me to see it when I want to check the file. So we then have face down image file. Well, this is never changed. So this is set once and is never changed. So I think like certain things you want to keep as a class attribute. Like I think even though we could convert these to be instance attributes, I think these are more fitting as as class attributes. Like data transfer, because we don't check to see a specific card, we're checking to see if in general the data transfer is enabled. Um, and like technically we could just not have data transfer as a card attribute, but it does fit here because that is what it denotes, that we're attempting to transfer card data such as the XY and the display layer. So I think that is fitting to stay here, so we're gonna leave these here. Moving on to the next one, change attribute list. So this actually isn't there's no class here, so this one is like not even, we don't need to look at that one. Let's go to client then. Client has transferred, non-transferred adders, and then the time tube. And yeah, well, you want a class adder gets applied automatically to all the instances. So this is fine. There's no reason to not have this as a class adder. This actually fits to be a class adder. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. Now, going on to the next one. Custom append list. We have transferred adders, non-transferred adders, and then card group name dictionary. Yeah, and this makes sense. These all make sense to have them there because they're not changed. They're just created and referenced. These are fine. No big deal there. Custom logger has transferred adders and non-transferred adders, which we don't want to. We'll keep those. Same thing with custom time list. Alright, and then deck. Deck has only non-transferred adders and transferred adders. Okay. DTM set is not a class, so we don't have to worry about it having attributes at all. Transferred adders and non-transferred adders for game. And is there anything else? There's card group and the card dictionary, and that is fine. Feel comfortable leaving that. only thing though is, do we reference it in the proper manner? Because we do deal with this. So like we do reference this object. So if we reference it, like if we reference the P1 game, if we reference it from the instance and then modify that relative to the instance, then we would not be modifying the actual original object, if you follow what I'm saying. Uh, so we do reference it as game card group here. Alright. Game card group dict. Well, this is the card group dict, not the card group. Pay attention here. Be careful. Alright, yep, that references it properly. This is game card group dict. That's a different object altogether. Same thing here. Let me just say card group, but that's a reference to something else. That's an assignment. Alright. Same thing here, that's a different object. Same thing there. Yeah, these are all references to a locally assigned variable. Okay. Yeah, these are all, this is the same namespace I use generally for just card groups. So that's pretty much what all this is gonna be, almost every single one of them. I honestly should probably change the name to be like Pie Game Card Group, because it's, well, it's actually a sprite group. I should probably change it to be to be called the sprite group instead. Okay, here we go. So this is, yeah, it's a Pie Game Sprite Layer Dirty, which is a group. So I think I'm gonna rename it, but after I make sure that it's referenced properly. So this is when it's assigned at the class level. Oh, I don't, yeah, these I have to get out of the, terrible. I never realized how stressful Phantasy Star Online 2 music was until like I listened to it like outside of the game, and I was like, wow, that's actually just pure anxiety. Terrible. Okay, so it looks like we referenced them all using the correct namespace so far, and we're gonna rename it so we don't have to have this confusion when we search for it, if we ever have to search for it again. Oops, see, I kind of got ahead of myself. Right here, that's the card group dict. Okay. Oh, you know what I could have done to weed out a bunch of these? I could have did dot card group. That would have weeded out almost all these extra ones that I'm looking at here. I'm dumb. Uh, Silly goose. Alright, and the rest of these files are gonna be like basically just useless, just like text files, and not useless, but useless for what we're trying to do. Alright, so yeah, we verified that they're all properly like referencing the the class object, and now we changed it to dot card group, so it should be able to make this search a lot easier. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just change each instance to be called card sprite group. Is that what we should call it? Sprite group. I feel like that's what we should call it. Sprite group. Do we call anything sprite group? No, we don't. Okay. So yeah, dot card group. Yeah, so we're gonna change this to be called card sprite group. Much better. And now we're just gonna go through and update each of these to be card sprite group. Game.card group, game.sprite, card sprite group. Yeah, because that's what it is. It's a card sprite group. So we can minimize card. We don't have to go back there. And card group dictionary, that we can leave as is. Yeah, that's fine. Not worried about those. Okay, here we go. So we're going to change this to be called a card sprite group. Game.card sprite group. Game.card sprite group. Oops. Trip here. Alright. Card sprite group. And I'm going to go through and undo these changes just to make sure that I did update the correct ones. I didn't slip up. Okay, looks like that's all for the game file. So let's go ahead and just do undo. Alright, so card group to card sprite group, card group to card sprite group. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Okay, cool. Alright, so we're done with that. We already did custom, so let's go to locations, and this is gonna be different. Alright, so that was it for locations. We can close that. Old client. Alright, server game.card sprite group. Okay, now setup. These three need to be changed. See, I even put sprite group next to them. It's a card group dict, so that's different. Okay, looks like we're done there. Cool. We did check client, right? Yeah, this is all card group dictionary. Right. Alright, cool. So we're done with that modification. So we can close all these files. And okay, so we're going through each one and we're looking at the class attributes to see if any of them can be changed to instance attributes, if there's like a reason to have them as class attributes versus instance. And so yeah, well, this is the actual where it's defined, and I almost forgot to change this. So we changed this to card sprite group. So this is the actual class attribute definition for the sprite group, and we can leave card group dict as the as it was. I mean, as a class attribute, we don't need to convert that to an instance attribute because this is like a singular group that we don't need duplicates of it. So yeah. And you could say, well, you could just make it a global, and then you have like one global, and you never would have to worry about using the wrong namespace reference. But I don't know, I think it's more Pythonic to like include it here in the game class because it's like connected to the game class. Define it as a global variable game, and well, there's nothing wrong with that. We would just import the card group dict directly as a global variable. I think it's kind of like either or. It's not really one way over the other as long as you're properly referencing it. I guess technically it would be safer to have it be a global, but I'm gonna like when you have the namespace preceding it, it reminds the person that's working on the code when they look at it what it's attached to. So I actually think you can make a good case that it's good to remain that way. So let's go through card group dict and see if all these use the proper reference, namely using that capital G, which is the game, the class name, and not the instance name. Alright, that's it for that so far. Okay, cool. So we're done here. That one's fine. We verified that all of those are properly referenced. Alright, let's see. What are we doing here? I can put that verified all references refer properly object. And I did the same thing for this one. And I can actually put this after, not transfer. Put that note, and then we'll put that note. Okay, and that's it for game, and let's go to the next one. So now we have locations. Let's go to the tippity top. See what we got here. So we have Pygame, Mixer, and Knit. Do not remove. This line is necessary. In the fact that like this is necessary, but is it necessary here, or could it be? I don't know. I think that I think we could move this to the well. Oh no, we actually well if we want place card sound to be a Pygame.mixer sound object, we have to have mixer initialized. But there's really, like, since we only have one instance of locations, I don't think there's any actual, like, reason to have this be a class attribute. I think we could actually make all of these be an instance attribute. Because if we can import the class, we should be able to import the object. At least, like, I'm pretty certain. Is that true? So let's see. First off, let's see everywhere where we access the place card sound file. So we did reference it in game, but we moved it. Okay. Gotcha. Now we have the place card sound. Let's see about that one. So this one got moved to locations as well. Yeah, this one got moved as well. So we'll just put this comment created 9 18 24. Move this to locations 5 for valid reasons. Leaving here just in case I get confused about this later. Okay. Alright, continue. Alright, so this moved. Oh, okay. It's like, why did we? We moved this. We moved this here because otherwise we would have to import game because that's where it's defined, and since we import locations into game, then we couldn't import game into locations, so that's why we had to move it. So it actually had to be moved. There is no way around that unless like we just improved, we made some big changes or whatever. So I'm actually like, this could be changed to a, these two could be changed to an instance attribute with no problem. But isn't it let me see, isn't it Python, isn't it the convention to capitalize class names and lowercase class instance names? Yes, that's correct. By the way, the conventions use cap words, camel case, for class names, while instance names are typically written in lowercase with underscores. Gotcha. Alright, so, and is it common, or is it best practice to also name the class instance the same thing as the class name? Certainly not recommended to name an instance the same as its class name, as it can lead to confusion. Okay. Right. So I should actually change that. I should make it to where, let's put this in non-pressing issues. We'll put camel case class name and lowercase instance names. Modify all class and instance names to conform to this rule, i.e. P1 game to P1 game. I know that's a subtle, you know, that's like, it is what it is, but best practice is best practice. And anyway, so let's continue here with resituate cards no sound. Resituate cards no sound. Can this be a, oh, so wait, there was something with resituating the cards, something about referencing them through the class versus the instance had different behavior, but I don't think that was for this object actually. I thought that was for a different object, because currently we access them through locate, and locate is actually the instance. Locations is the class. So we're already self resituate cards no sound. Ah, see, this is actually like, This is actually not optimized code because this is checking an instance attribute. Let me ask ChatGPT this. If I have a class CLS with a class adder X, and then in the instance init I check for self.x, does that refer to the class adder? Yes, if you have a class attribute X in your class CLS and you check self.x in the instance's init method, it will refer to the class attribute X unless the instance has its own attribute named X. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so this is not optimized. We actually need to optimize this. So optimizing this would actually just be converting research rate cards no sound to be an instance attribute. Since we only have one instance anyway, there's really like there's no reason to have them be class attributes. It just causes confusion. And since we actually reference it that way, it would be like the quote-unquote safest thing to do. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna make all of these become instance attributes instead of class attributes, just because I think it's better that way. So we just moved it down a little bit, and now these are instance attributes instead of and just before I do that, let's open up the script and make it. So if we do cd canasta, why is this in T? Starts again. Canasta main, and then we paste that, paste it, go back up here, pi server, and then we do pi client. Try this. Let's just see if it's like broken or whatever. Alright, so J's ready. Let's see. Waiting on the other player to enter their name. Okay. Alright, there it goes. He's gonna pick his card. He's gonna pick his card. Cool. They did the damn thing. Deny. He won, so player 2 should be going. I thought it was the other way around. Okay, no, I had it backwards. I clicked the wrong one. See, I noticed it deals 4 of his hand. I noticed that it will do that. I guess it's because of the multi-threading and the order in which they actually happened on the server side, and the data sorting, received data sorting system we have. That's no big deal. It's fine actually. So he's gonna draw from the stack. He gets his 10. Okay, it's his turn to play. He had 2 red 3s. Did it replace all of our red 3s? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, 11 plus the draw card, so that's 12. So that's the correct amount of cards. Now let's make sure he can click them all. And he can, which is good. Now he's gonna play his cards. And look at that. Looks like this part is working. The enter continue text function. Let me put this right here. Enter continue text func wait time too fast. It's not giving enough time for me to read some of the longer progression text. Might need to check the time allotted. Ensure it's not nanoseconds instead of seconds. Alright. Correct. So let's go back over here. We'll do that after. So now we're going to redo these changes. And we're going to rerun the scripts and make sure that this doesn't mess anything up. Alright, so he's going to enter his name as J. He's going to be M. And I can see when I hover over these windows what the progress is with each of them. I can see who's like ready for enter continue display. Alright, he's gonna pick his card. He's gonna pick his card. Try to do it as quick as I can. Uh-oh. Something happened? Oh yeah, okay, so we messed up here. Let's do Control Shift F. This needs to reference the card movement. Go locations. It says locations has no attribute. Place card sound. Oh yeah, right. Okay, duh. So we have to do self dot. Gotcha. That was a rookie mistake right there. So this is actually gonna be place card. Oh, that's old. I'm looking in the wrong place. Gotta be careful. So this is going to be self place card sound file. Alright. And then this is going to be self dot place card sound. So right here we're going to do place card sound file, place card sound. Alright, that should fix it. There we go. That was a rookie mistake I made. Let's try this again. Alright. Up and running. J and M. Alright. Come on. Come on. It takes a long time. He got a 3. Call me sleeping there for a second. Alright, now let's see what goes on here. And this is client to client. This is online right now. This is not just like 2 clients on a local connection. This is, well, it is on a local connection, but this is actually online right now. Like, this other client could be on a completely different computer somewhere else on a different network, and still work. I mean, that's the whole point of it. It is an online game. So he's gonna draw from the stack, and that's what makes it so difficult. That was very hard to do. Extremely. Too hard, honestly. I wonder if it was worth it. Alright. So he's going to try to make his play. And it looks like nothing's bugged out here, so I think we're safe. I just wanted to check. Let's see if we can replicate that highlight bug, though, while we're here in the playthrough to make sure that it's not intermittent and that it is, like, a constant thing. Because if it's intermittent, well, then that almost certainly means it has something to do with like either the data transfer flow or the like data application flow being like out of sync. Something's not correct there. And you know what? This might have something to do with the wildcards, because I noticed this always seemed to happen with a wildcard. Or maybe it just happened that we always had a wild card when we tried, like, when we ran the scripts. Okay. So it puts these cards back in the hand, the 9s and the 5, and then it's going to let him play again. And I wonder if it has anything to do. See? There it is. It's the same 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle. So I think it's actually the same amount. It's 4 cards, and it's the same, like, ones. It's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th card. The 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th card. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th card. Huh. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Okay. And let me just log that. And so we'll go to bugs, debug. And then we're going to go to the top here. And I don't know why this closes out. What does it do? It says keyboard interrupt, but I didn't do a keyboard interrupt here. I didn't keyboard interrupt it. I don't know why it closes out like that. Maybe connection reset error. Maybe we have timeout enabled. We might have timeout enabled. Random idle crash. When idling the scripts, they terminate after a certain amount of time, as if we have what's it called? A timeout set or something. No input or anything, just a random, seemingly time-based crash. So check for timeout project. Alright, we'll take care of that. Alright, so let's go back to bugs debug and let's write this down. So we have clickable card highlight bug, and put 9/18/24. Experience debug again. It was the same cards. The 4 cards. The 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So 5th through 8th cards. Pretty sure it's the same card positions, card amounts, and positions every time this bug occurs. Also, it seems non-intermittent. AKA, it happens every time. So that's good to know. Alright, so back to the task. I'm actually going to take a break here soon because we're almost there. But let me check my extensions, make sure I don't need to restart any of them. I forget to do that. Alright, so we're good. Now let's back to where we were. We finished locations file. We converted those class attributes to be instance attributes instead, because it just made more sense that way. So now we're going to go to the next file. The next file that is a class, rather, is going to be after locations. It's not going to be this one. That's for the save system that we don't have implemented yet. So network, cool, we don't have to worry about that one. Old client, this actually, I think we can delete these. Yeah, we can delete old client and old server. Bye bye, because we know it works now. I saved those a long time ago just in case I like broke it, but I didn't break it, dude. I fixed it. So cool. Player, done with that one. Alright, progression, that's not gonna have a class associated with it. Server, what do we have here? We have transferred, non-transfer, and then that's it. Cool. I love it, dude, when there's no work to be done. And this is just a function, it's not a class. Alright, cool, so we're done with that task. So we knocked out another one. So let's go here to non-pressing. We have location class adders. What do we have? Bam, we took care of that. Alright. Now we have camel case class name and lowercase instance names. Let's go ahead and take care of that real quick. I'm feeling like I still got a little bit of juice in the tank to where I can go a little bit more. I'm gonna wait till I start to feel like I'm crashing. And then I'm gonna go to the gym. It's heavy bag day. I've been taking it easier on my legs though. I'm doing the standstill heavy bag and not the swinging heavy bag. So it's more upper body, less on my legs. I'm not like hopping around like a squirrel, you know? Because UPS is hard enough on my legs. Alright, so modify all class and instance names to conform to this rule, i.e. P1 game to P1 game. So we're gonna go and find the, let's look at each class name. So we have card, and then when we create the actual cards, which is done in setup, we just call them current card, which is fine because we don't reference those by like the direct namespace of current card anyway. We just reference them as not sure exactly how to say what I'm trying to say. We don't reference them by a particular namespace, but a generic one. What the hell did I just do? Alright. Going back over here. So card is good. We have capital C for card as the class name, and then the instances are going to be lowercase. So that one's good. Change attribute list. This is not a class. Client. Alright, go to the tippity top. We have client, and the instance of client, is it capitalized? Let's see. Let's say equals client. There we go. So yeah, we do capitalize them. So we want to lowercase them to conform to the rule. And let's search for capital client 1. And we're going to change that, all those instances, to reference lowercase client 1. So this is going to be lowercase. And I know this seems really petty, but I like to be, you know, conform to the rules. And same thing here with the P1 game. This is going to be changed to lowercase p. This is going to be changed to lowercase p. It does help you to see them. Like, it jumps out at you when they're capitalized. But if the convention is for them to be lowercase, I'll go with the convention. I don't want to go against the grain, you know? So P1, P1, P2, P2. So we're just changing capitalization here, lowercase, lowercase, lowercase. Okay, cool. Alright, now let's do the same thing for client 2. Well, actually, hold on. Do this again. See this? This needs to be lowercase. That needs to be lowercase. Alright, and it looks like we don't have any instances of that. Client 2. We don't have any instances of that. Alright, so we can close all these again, put this one back over here, and was that the file that we were on, client? Yeah. Alright, so I think we're done on this one, client. Obsolete. What's obsolete? Alright, so custom append list, and that one is correctly camel case, but as far as the instances, we'll put equals custom append, and let's find all these and make sure these are not capitalized, and these are not. So it looks like I got these taken care of. That's this boy. This boy. This is old. Alright, cool. I'm done there. Next one, custom append list. Custom logger, that's not a class. It's just, no, it is. It is. The custom logger, so we do. So they said we're not supposed to have the same name because that can be confusing. So what we should do, we'll change custom logger to be actually, you know what? I would leave this as custom logger and change custom logger to custom logger class. Okay, let me ask, what about custom logger equals custom logger changed to custom logger equals custom logger class? Adding class to the class name instead of changing custom logger instance to something like the custom logger. Adding class to the class name, custom logger class, is not a common practice and can lead to confusion. The convention is to use cap words, so custom logger would be sufficient. Using something like the custom logger is a better approach because it conveys the purpose of the instance clearly. This keeps your code clean and adheres to naming conventions. Okay, okay, I see. Alright, alright, okay, 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 okay. Fair enough. So, we'll just say the custom logger. I don't like that. I just don't like it. You know what I mean? I don't like it, dude. I don't like it. I didn't like taking advice from ChatGPT. I was gonna say, stay in your place, okay? Alright. Yeah. Stay in your place, Chippity. Although Chippity will probably be replacing me. You know what I mean? Chippity will. Let's just be honest. Right, the custom logger. Bam. 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 Sometimes you just want to do easy work, you know what I mean? It's just how it is. Sometimes you just want to do easy work, dude. You know, ChatGPT is right though. This actually is. It is preferable. It is. I can't lie about that. It's. All right, there we go. Cool. Progression. All right, let's review. Cool. Not a server. Easy. Alright, next one. Yeah, and I prefer to do these manually, as you can see. I don't like to ever just like change all. I'm like, honestly, I would never do change all. I know you can do that. You can just like change all instances of it. I would never do that. I would never recommend doing that because It's just dangerous. You can mess something up like that. Um, so that was custom logger, obviously. So now we're on custom time list. Alright, so these are, so that's correctly called camel case, and then we have to do equals custom time list and see the instances. Okay, so this is gonna be changed to lowercase, and then yeah, well, all of this is gonna be changed to lowercase. So here's what we can do. We can duplicate our cursor. So we can do right here, then we can do Alt, and we can click all these. Okay, so see how these cursor, we duplicated the cursor like 20 times. We're gonna do it some more. You gotta be very careful here, like a surgeon, dude. You're basically a digital surgeon. Okay? Just have to be extra fucking careful, alright? So now we're gonna backspace, and then now we have lowercase p. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Alright, then we can hit X to exit out all those. Then go over here, and we're gonna end up changing master deck to just be called master deck. Actually, I'll let that, I'm not sure if, I don't want to mess with that. Game import, I know we're gonna change that to P1 game and P2 game. I really shouldn't be doing these out of order like this, but I'm an idiot, so you know, idiots do idiot things. That's just what they do. So alright, so we're good here now. Custom time list is done. Alright, what's the next one? Deck. Alright, so we have deck as the class name, which is perfectly fine, but then we have master deck. So we're gonna change this to be just master deck. And man, I've had these like capitalized for so long, it's kind of sad to see them go away. Like, do I really have to change it? I don't really have to, but you know. I kind of like it lowercase. I don't know why. I kind of do. I like it better lowercase. It just doesn't stand out. That's the thing. It doesn't stand out. Yeah. I'm not sure if I like that. Alright, cool. Alright, next one. Oh yeah, we don't create a deck 2 anymore. Yeah, we just have one master deck. Um, and we'll just put consists of 108 cards after setup population. Populated during setup. Alright, moving on. Right, easy. And I'll always review my changes. Like, I don't care how sure I am that it worked properly the first time. Just review it. This kind of takes a long time. Yeah, it takes a hot minute actually. Focused. Focus. There we go. You see it. Yeah, I don't even trust computers. Like, this was purely computational. There should be no real reason to double check this, but I just feel like I don't care what it is. I'm gonna review it at least a little bit. Like, hopefully I'm really actually looking at it and not just skimming past it, because I'm telling you, dude, you make some changes and you don't review them, you will pay the price. It'll take you 10 times as long to debug the shit. Okay, cool, we're done. Yeah, and I'm starting to crash a little bit, so I think I'm gonna go to the gym here after we finish this task. We're gonna be done. This was kind of extra, like, this is not necessary, you know, but it is what it is. I chose to conform to Python conventions, because I don't want to be the guy that stands out and, like, oh, he does everything different just to be different. Yeah, I don't want employers to think that I'm like that guy, and if they review this project, which hopefully they will at some point, they will be like, hey, I can see that he tries to follow the conventions, the rules, instead of just doing everything his own way. even though lots of this project is very scattered and very delicate. I think to a certain extent, almost all programs are like this, you know. Anyway. Alright, so we're done with that part. And I always clear out my finders as well to make sure that didn't miss anything. So that was deck. So I'll just put finished deck and then we stop. So let's just go ahead and exit all these. Oops. Alright, so we have random idle crash. Where is it? I'll put stopped after deck by finished. Okay. Ooh, it's got like a knot in my back or something all of a sudden. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to our devlog, and I'm gonna log this in as our time. I'm about to take a break, so we went from 11:09 to 12:46, which is actually pretty good. 11:09 to 12:46, and we continued. What did we really do? We continued really taking care of minor tasks to get some of them off of the things to do list. True. Because I really want to shorten that list up. It kind of stresses me out with it being so long. You know what I mean? It would kind of give you anxiety. Because lots of those tasks are so easy. And when I once I see this big long list of tasks, I'm like, God, it's going to take me forever. Look at this. Look at all this shit I got to do. But when you really get down to it, lots of these tasks don't take a lot of time. They only take like 10 minutes. So, you know, it's like, what, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You're looking at, look, 1 hour, bam, and then you just knocked out 6 tasks. And there's probably only like 30 of these. So that's really like 5 hours of work. It seems like more than it is. Sometimes the task list grows faster than it goes away, but eventually I will finish, you know, eventually I will. And I don't want to rush myself, which, you know, you want to find the balance. You don't want to rush yourself, but you don't want to just be fucking like a sloth either. So, alright, well, I'm going to go hit the gym up, hit the heavy bag up. It's heavy bag day today. Pop some more caffeine. Probably eat some oatmeal or something. Wake back up, and I'll be back, and we're gonna smash another, like, I'm feeling like today's a power day, dude. We're gonna do like, I don't know, maybe 4 hours. We're gonna knock some shit out today. All right, so I'll be back in probably an hour.